Well, welcome to Raised in Alaska. This adventure did not turn out to be anything like I had planned. I had planned this super cool adventure. I was going to find a remote cabin that's been in the family for years, probably 40 years. Nobody spent a night in it for 20 years probably. And so I was going to go spend a night in there. The northern lights were forecast to be blazing. And so it was really going to be this glorious trip to a remote cabin, 80 miles off the grid, something like that, and a Northern Lights extravaganza. But this adventure is going to be one that I can put in the books for myself. I've been fantasizing about this adventure for probably 2 years. My adventures are generally kind of seasonal based. When winter season comes, I put away all my fall stuff. I get out all my winter stuff. I kind of keep it in a pile in one place. And the first adventure or two, I find out what I've forgotten, what I don't need. And then I kind of get everything tuned up so that when I get ready to go on an adventure, all my winter gear is ready to go and I just have to load it up. Okay, you can see I got 2 totes of wood in the front there. Another tote of wood here. Some water, sleeping pad, food, sleeping bag in here, clothing, tent, and stove. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing tarped up. There are even times that I've been out this year where I load everything up and I wonder if I had everything in my boxes and things like that, and I go out and lo and behold it's all there, and that happens because I've been pretty organized with the whole thing. So it would be an overstatement to say I've been planning this trip. You can see here there's a crack in the ice. That ice is at least 10 inches deep, and here's some overflow. And so the ice cracked and water came up through it. And we want to watch out for that today. We don't want to get into any overflow. Probably, a lot of that probably refroze mostly overnight, but it still looks kind of watery. And so this is all a river. So let me tell you about the trip we're getting ready to go on. I have a plan A, and I have a plan rest of the alphabet. Plan A is really, I'm gonna go to a remote cabin that doesn't get visited very often, probably once every 2 years. I have a buddy who flies into this in the wintertime, lands there on skis, and goes to this cabin, probably once every other year, just to check on it. I don't think anybody's spent a night in this cabin for probably 20 years. So we're gonna have a little snack and some coffee. It's just been a glorious morning. Well, when I first started out, there was some kind of snow machine race going on. So we had people going by us. I was trying to stay way off to the side of the trail, and people were blowing by at 80 miles an hour. I'm sure they thought I was just a complete turd. But I tried to stay way out of the way, and I saw that they were all, there's a Roadhouse back there, and they were all pulled up there, and it looked like they were getting ready for another restart, so they must race into there and then, I would guess, race back. I don't know. You can hear a helicopter there. There were a couple helicopters flying around and planes flying around watching the race or filming the race or doing something. No little Roadhouse there. They kind of had it barricaded off so you couldn't get in really. And all the racers were in there. On the way back, I might try to stop in there just to check it out. I've not been up here before at all. and I said this at the very beginning, I'm pretty sure I'm on the right trail. I'm 39 miles in. I set my trip odometer when I left just so I'd be able to keep track. And so I'm 38 miles in right now. I think it's probably 85 miles to the cabin. And then there's another Roadhouse about 65 miles in. So if there's not, I'm sure it's going to be crazy busy because a day like today, people are going to be out moving around. But if I can stop in and get some food or some gas, I'll probably stop there and get something. And this snow is set up really, really nice. I mean, I'll bet when I stepped out, it was at least 3 feet deep, and I don't know that I hit the ground, but I'll bet this is probably 5-6 feet of snow that's just been slowly packed down. So now tonight, we're forecast for really good northern lights, like rockin' northern lights. If it stays cloudless like this, it could be really nice. I don't know what the moon cycle is right now because how well you can see the northern lights also depends on the moon. If we have a full moon, you won't be able to see them very well. And so I don't know what the moon cycle is. I should check that out if I can. I guess when the moon comes up tonight, you'll be able to tell. But we're supposed to get some clouds in tomorrow. Hopefully it's not crazy clouds and flat light, because I've already come far enough that if I was driving this in flat light, I would not be a happy camper. It would be a long, long, long trip back. I've probably averaged between 20, I mean, it's pretty mogully in places, but I probably averaged 25 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour. There are places I've been up over 40 and places I've been down to 10. And then this is my first stop really, so it's not like I've wasted a lot of time chit-chatting with you or just bumping around. So I feel like I'm not making horrible time. And when I started out this morning, we were in single digits, low single digit. I think it was 5. But I bet, I don't know, it's got to be in the 20s right now. It is gorgeous out here right now. In fact, my park is about too much, but I don't have anything else that's windproof with me. I probably should have brought a lighter weight coat. And I'll tell you right now, this is the best riding of the whole year right now. Last year at this time, it wasn't, I don't think, it was safe to get on the river. We'd had a lot of warm weather, and I think it was beyond sketchy. I don't think it broke up yet, but I don't think that it was wise to be out on the ice. But there's a ton of people out right now. When I say ice, if you remember, we're just running rivers right now. We ran down one river and we're running up another river. I've pulled up on the bank right now, and so normally there would be gravel right here. This is a gravel bar, and the river is just about 50 yards over that way. And I can see snow machines going by right now. But this is the best riding of the year. The weather's nice. It gets a little cold at night, but single digits isn't bad. It beats minus 20. But the days are long. The sun's up early. The sun will be out tonight until, it probably won't set until, I don't know. I'll put it in here. I'll put a little title in here and tell you what time the sunrise and sunset is. We have long days right now. So I'm 56 miles in now, and I think that the roadhouse I'm heading to is only about, it's less than 10 miles. I want to say it's 60 miles, so it's about 4 miles out probably. And apparently the racers are still on this trail here. They must have pulled off or took a different trail because I haven't seen them for a while. But I just had two pass me a little bit ago. And so we might might have a racer go by here. So we'll take a quick little break, have some coffee, and then we'll get back on the trail. Still an absolutely gorgeous day, no wind. I find it hard to believe the weather's going to change a lot before tomorrow, and we'll have a ton of clouds come in. At least that's probably fingers crossed. I'm hoping that's the case. So the sun's still high in the sky, so I still have a lot of daylight left to find the cabin. So I'm hopeful still, not confident, but hopeful. Once we get to the roadhouse up here, I'll top off my tank with gas, see if they have food. Up there's a racer. And a racer in Harrison too, so we should have a buddy right behind it. Yep, here we go. They're traveling at a pretty good little clip. They're faster than I am, by golly. Okay, I'll get back on the trail here. And right now, again, it's probably mid-20s, and I'm not going super fast. If I was going real fast, I would have to have all my face covered and whatnot, but I'm just poking along right now. If it gets cold, I will stop and redo my little gear setup here. But right now, I think it's only about 4 more miles, so probably, a smidge of time. So this is Squintna Station. The snow machine race is coming in here, so I'm gonna get out of here. Pretty cool job. If I can go to the slope, pretty cool experience. Chad's pretty cool. And so this is kind of sort of what plan A looks like. And I'm gonna go upriver, well, up this river a few miles. I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna go up another river, probably 60 miles or so, to the first checkpoint on the Iditarod sled dog race, a place called Squintna. I'm gonna stop at Squintna for a few minutes, maybe a half an hour. We'll see what Squintna looks like. I've never been there. I've never been that far up the river. And then I'm gonna push on past Squintna, up the main river channel, and then somewhere, I don't know where, I have to get off the river onto presumably a trail that goes to the lake that the cabin's on. Well, this is the town of Squintna, if there's such a thing as the town of Squintna. We got a post office here. Of course they do, right? Oh, there's the whole post office. There's your letters right there. Hey, golly. Guess we could call it a thriving metatropolis. continue on up here and see what the rest of the town looks like. There are other cabins on this lake, so I believe that somebody else has probably already punched a trail in. And so it's just a matter of finding that correct trail and getting out to the cabin. I have no doubt that the cabin is snowed in right now, and so I'll probably have to dig my way down to get in if I can find it. Okay, so that's plan A, and then spend a glorious night, and it's gonna be wonderful in every possible way. Plan B looks more like when I load up my toboggan sled today, I'm gonna take my winter camping stuff. I have my winter tent, I have my winter stove, I have food, sleeping bag, all that stuff. If I can't find the cabin, get lost, have a breakdown, anything along that way, I can put up my tent. I have my wood stove. I'm gonna take 3 totes of wood with me. And so I have enough wood for 2 days. And so plan B through the rest of the alphabet looks something like that. I'm really hoping for plan A though, so we're gonna see how it goes. Nobody's going out to it this winter at all if I don't make it out there. I've been to this cabin twice. One time probably 15 years ago we flew in, and another time probably about 10 years ago or so we flew in. But I've never been to this cabin on the ground, hence the adventure. I'm not 100% sure that I can find it, but I kind of sort of know where it is. And so I printed off a map that shows where the lake that it's on is. You can see here we got open water. It's not deep, but that would be a big no-no there. I'm about lost here. Looks like somebody's been in here. I don't know if anyone's here or not. Nobody's probably here. Let's see. Somebody's cabin. I'm not going to poke around too much. Hoping to bump into somebody to find out where the heck I am. I think I'm lost. Well, I can find my way out of here, I believe. But I don't think I'm going to find the cabin. All right. Remember in the beginning of this when I said I had a plan A and a plan B? Well, I think we're on to plan C now. This just keeps opening up. It goes through the timber and opens up into openings, and I'm close to I'm close to the cabin, but there's a bazillion trails here, and at some point in time I'm just going to get lost. And so right now I think I can get turned around, and my goal is to go back to the Roadhouse area, because I know from there in the morning I can find my way out. The runner marks that my sled is making. And basically I'm just following my own tracks back. You can see right here. Here are the runner marks again for my sled there, and there for my toboggan. So I'm just following my own tracks back. There's been lots of Ys and different things, and so it's probably a good thing that I am heading back right now. So I'll go back there, I'll set up camp. There's supposed to be blazing northern lights tonight, and so I want to be set up for that. And so I'm gonna turn my cabin adventure into a winter camping adventure, and hopefully aurora viewing adventure. So I'm going to get turned around here, and hopefully I can get back to the Roadhouse. And from the Roadhouse, we'll probably go just a little bit beyond that or somewhere around there, and then set up camp. Well, I put 130 miles on my sled today, and I kind of thought that I was just about out of alpha plans, because right now what's happened is the bases went out of the snow, which is typical spring conditions. And so I've been looking for a place that was hard packed, and this is a place that I think a bunch of people kind of had something going on, party or something, and this is really hard. So it's hard enough I can set my tent up and not have to worry about falling through. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get my tent set up. It's getting toward evening. The sun is setting in the sky, so we still got plenty of time, but we'll get our tent set up and get some dinner going. Holy smokes, I've been probably 10 hours without food. And so we'll get that going right away. So I did talk to a guy who used to haul freight up here for years and years. And he advised me against going up here, which is in alignment with everyone else that I've talked to. My wife didn't want me to go. Another buddy didn't want me to go. They thought that it was too silly to go by yourself, that you should run with another machine. That would require me not to do it alone though, and that would kind of be a bummer. Half the adventure is doing it by yourself. I'll also say though, pretty much every time somebody tells me I shouldn't do it, it makes me want to do it more. Does that mean there's something wrong with me, I wonder? I'm kind of dragging it around so that I can find a level spot, because I want my cot to be level. And that doesn't, if I put it on this side, I think my cot will be fine. That guy that hauled freight, I saw at kind of the beginning of the trail and he goes, "Oh my, that's a long ways up there. You shouldn't do that. It's too far for a single day trip." And he asked how much gas I had, and I have an extra 5 gallons, and he said that's way not enough. He was driving a 2-stroke machine, though. This is a 4-stroke machine, and they get pretty good fuel mileage. I honestly think I have plenty of fuel. Beautiful night. Well, I got everything set up. I still have my wood stove outside of my tent. I'm making dinner right now. Some potatoes and moose sausage go in there. A little bit longer. Well, that was a day. Holy smokes. About 130 miles. It's hotter than sin in here. This moose sausage is probably one of my, I won't say my favorite way to eat moose, but it's in the top few. Mercy. Damp that down a little bit. Holy smokes. So my plan is basically to go to bed after dinner and then get up. I'll check the northern lights to see if they're out. Hopefully they come out tonight. They're forecast to be out really good tonight. The darndest thing about the northern lights is, number one, they only come out when you don't want to be up, like 3 o'clock in the morning or some crazy thing. Before I go to bed, though, I'll put some kindling and everything, because this fire will go out. And I never really stoke it up before I go to bed. There's really not a point in it. And so I'll get kindling set out and everything so that I can start a fire. So when I get up like at 1 o'clock in the morning, if the northern lights are out, then I'll get a fire going so it'll be warm in here. Then I can go out and take pictures of the northern lights and whatnot, and then come back in and warm up. And hopefully the clouds don't roll in or something and ruin that. I will say I'm a little disappointed. I really had my heart set on spending the night in that cabin. And I know darn good and well, I had to be really, really close. What I'm going to have to do, and this is probably the last time I'll be down on the river ice, even though it's solid right now, if it warms up for a week, everything's going to just get sketchy. And I got other places to ride and other things to do, so I don't really like to go out when it's sketchy. So I think my plan will be, for the cabin, is next winter, I'll probably fly it with somebody and lay down a GPS coordinate to it, or drop a pin on my phone or whatever. And that way, ideally what I should do is fly in and see where the winter trail goes to the lake, because there's other cabins on that lake, so I'm sure that somebody puts in a trail. And so I just need to probably scout it from the air so I know how to get there, and even drop pins or something like that, you know, and then get up there probably next winter. Then it's really... And what I'll say about that, I guess, it feels like a failure right now, to be honest with you. But if the northern lights are blazing in the sky tonight, that would make up for it. If there's no northern lights and no cabin, it'll be an awesome winter camping trip. But I've done other winter camping trips, and I really had my heart set on doing something different this time. I'll tell you, I got up there and went off one trail and went off another trail and went off another trail. And I was back in there like 4 trails or 5 trails deep. And to be honest, not to be a chicken or anything, but the Alaska backcountry in the middle of winter, probably any time of the year actually, but in the middle of winter, you get misplaced way out somewhere and can't find your way out. It could be very sad day. I had my backup plan was, though, I'd set up my tent, put my wood stove in there, but that would get me until the next day. But if you're lost, you're still lost. There were other snow machines that had been back in there. I could tell that somebody had rode that trail today. And so probably what I would have done, this was my backup plan, is I would have camped right beside the trail, and then when somebody came by, stopped them and said, you know, where in the world am I, kind of thing. I did have on my phone, I didn't have a GPS, but I had my phone, and the map portion of your phone works off satellite, so you don't need cell reception. And so I could basically see where I was in the backcountry, and it showed the rivers on there. And so I knew which river I had to get to, so it would have been a matter of, you know, going along and trying to determine, okay, is this going to lead me to there or not? So I don't think that I would have been lost forever, only to be found by Bigfoot. But it could have been a little bit of a panic, and not my favorite day. And so it was good that I turned around. I mean, it would have been nice to find it, but I was wise not to go any deeper in there and take a couple more turns, because I might have got turned around. So I think it was wise in the end. Well, I'm going to finish these last couple bites and turn in for the night and set my alarm for 1 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully, northern lights are out tonight. We'll see.